Yeah, we'll see.
So, Facebook, we don't have a monitor to see you right now. And for whatever reason, I can't hear me, probably because my headphones weren't plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
But we literally have
It's
been
weird.
trying...
Mine was unplugged there for a second, too.
So we've been trying to get live, Facebook Live, for about, 45 minutes, right, Colin?
Yeah.
But it was kicking us out on our other camera system. So we had to kind of go a little old school. And it's showing we're on now. So
Oh, are we?
what we need to do is we're going to make sure our sound is correct, and then we'll do the drop for the podcast portion, and we'll be ready to go. Welcome back. Sorry it's been a while, guys. We I don't know we'll necessarily share what it was, but one thing is we're going to change up. We kind of had to sit down and going to change the format a little bit. We'll still do the long story things. We'll get into that when we do the podcast.
Yeah. The funny thing is, that's the 20th time we've said that, and we're so tired of it. Just like, so anyway, we did this. We welcome back. The other 3 takes, I was like, welcome back. Well, this time, just like, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 more notes.
We're live now, so let's listen.
We did this. We welcome back. The other 3 takes, I was like, welcome back. Well, this time, just like, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 more notes.
We're live now, so let's listen.
Welcome back. The other 3 takes.
There's a slight listen.
Welcome back. Well, this time, just like, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 more notes.
It's not like it has been, right? But
is there an echo?
There's a slight listen. It's not bad like it was though. So, but see, that's the bad thing about this camera. It picks the buzz up.
Right.
The other. Our HD camera doesn't do that, so we got to figure out why Facebook is having issues with that one. But anyway, okay, I'm going to cut that so we don't hear that.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
This camera, it picks the buzz up. The other
just loops and layers.
It does over and over and over. And so I'm going to do this share real quick so everybody can get what they need from us here. Do. So. Boom. There it is. Let me do Shazare on your page and my page. Tag Colin. That's good cold iced coffee. Skip. Pizzost. Boom. Okay.
Shut the hell up. You ain't Snoop Dogg. Put shizzle on my zizzle.
Do. All right. Let's just pop this in real quick. I said quick.
Yeah, cricket.
DJ Quick. Yeah. This is Scott.
This is Colin.
And we are
2 rational bastards.
It does. It throws me off, and I damn made the damn thing.
You made the damn thing.
All right, so that's that. Now I'm going to do the audio portion. Remember, we're going to do it at the beginning of that, Colin. Oh, shit, I hit a camera. Sorry.
What?
I hit the camera function, so hold on.
Oh my God.
Sorry, man. Damn.
Boom, boom, boom,
So, all right. So we're going to record 3, 2, 1. We're back.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Yeah. So welcome to another episode of Two Rational Bastards. This is episode number 13. We've had a little break.
Again.
Back again. But we're going to try to get back on schedule. But one of the reasons we had a couple of reasons why, but one of the main reasons is we've decided to kind of reset the format of the show. If you're not changing and evolving, you get stagnant, and you dry up, right? So we want to make sure that.
I mean, would you really buy the new iPhone if it was exactly like the iPhone?
So we want to make sure that we're constantly evolving, and we've kind of tossed around some ideas on how we wanted to do this. So this is kind of the latest format. And it may evolve and change, but I think this style that we're going to do going forward is probably what we're going to stick with. We will still have what we call our story shows, the long format where we have a guest or there's something that may be really big and impactful that we want to spend a whole episode on.
Right.
But we're going to segment the show. And that way, every week when you tune in, I'm going to get a little bit of this, I'm going to get a little bit of this, a little bit of this. So do you want to share the...
A little bit of this, a little bit of that,
yeah.
a little bit of this, a little bit of...
Do you want to share the categories, or do you remember? I know we kind of did it over the phone, and for me, I was...
on this episode, yeah, okay. But not in the future.
Yeah, so we're going to have kind of 4 loose categories that we're going to kind of always hit. We're always going to do our banter that we do back and forth where I call you all kinds of names, and you take it. And then I'm going to do...
I will not be taking it.
And then we'll do our quote of the day.
Maybe I will.
We'll do our quote of the day. But then our 4 kind of pillars, I guess you're going to say, we're going to build the show going forward. We're going to have a health segment because, as you know, we've done a whole episode on health. We had Brandon Fraser on where we did a whole episode trying to dissect for him a health plan. And we always hit something like that because we're both into health.
Right.
We're going to do an entertainment splash. Let me rewind.
A dash?
Yeah, a dash. A
smidgen?
A scooch. So we're going to... I was doing a recipe the other day, and it said a scant tablespoon of sugar. What the hell is a scant? Is it a tablespoon or is it half a tablespoon? What does that mean?
I don't even really...
Like you get it on a counter and and then put it in your hand, and I don't know what that means.
It sounds like somebody that was about 1,000 years old. They'll give them a scan.
Yeah, right. So okay, health, it would be a pillar. Entertainment/sports, and that, we could have 2 segments on that. We're going to have a wild card where we just find something maybe interesting that interests us. Could be anything. And then maybe a current event. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the mainstream current event, but it could be something that's kind of trending that we picked up on. So that's kind of be the pillars that we hit. We may stray from that a little bit, but predominantly that's what we're going to try to hit. And again, we're going to do long format shows moving forward. Colin, you make some notes. You want me to do the quote now?
Go on, man.
Okay. So the quote today, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them.
Read it one more time. I like it.
We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. It's all about that evolution piece we talked about, right? Albert Einstein said that. So
that doesn't surprise me.
So anyway, that really resonated. And again, one of the quotes that kind of popped in, I have they come in every day, and this one popped up today, and I thought very timely.
The funny thing about that is it goes along with a little bit of what I was talking about with, I can't even really speak about it yet.
Yeah,
I can't speak about it yet.
We'll get to it. So okay, let's just. So obviously one of the reasons was, like we said, we did a reset on the show, and anybody that's close to me knows that I've been in real estate for quite a while. Right. I really got heavily back into it here at the end of April, and that's really kept me really busy. So I'm trying to find my traction again because I had so many clients and so many sales, but now I've got Tuesdays again slotted for what we need to do. I've got everything situated. I've got people to help me out with. I've got a transaction coordinator, some things like that to help me with my business. So it just took a while to get that stuff implemented and to find the right people for that. Right. So anyway, so that's one thing. You, yet again, I think we're in a transition of moving again, possibly.
Right.
You damn hobo.
Yes, I am. I am a gypsy. Also, I have a friend and I. We've created an outdoor class, and we're going to do it through the summer, and we're going to try to do that every summer.
Yeah.
He's quite a bit younger than me, and we just didn't put our name in it, but we just call it Neff and Unc boot camp. Nephew, uncle. Not even related to the guy. But with the body weight stuff, it's a different format, it's a different approach, and you're outside, and there's so many things that I've discovered with body weight that I wish I would have known even 5 years ago. Like there's things, and I hate to bash or say something negative about an organization. So you'll probably know what I'm talking about without me saying the name. But any gym that does not have free weight or has very little free weight and has mostly machines limits you in such a way that it's no different than atrophying your muscles by putting it in a cast. So there were things that I was able to do, 3 years ago. I can't push up into a back bridge. Well, I can now, but I can't push up into a back bridge, Scott.
Yeah.
Like my muscles that you need to do that is your tricep, your flexibility of your lat, and your anterior delt or your front delt. I couldn't do it like for 3 months, and right now I can only do 2.
Hey, Wade, is the volume better? Just give us a shout out. Go ahead, Colin. Sorry.
So I'm like, interrupt me again, so what happens. But the crazy thing is, when you use your whole entire body weight, it balances you. I'm not talking about holistically, but physically, it balances you, and you have less injuries. My back has never felt better. My spine has never felt better. My hip has never felt better. It's cool. So I'm really digging this transition and discovering different ways to get to different muscles without using the machine is just an adventure for me.
So Wade, once again, if you could comment, see if the mics, because we had to use a different camera this time, so I'm not used to making that one hot. So it's a different setting on my board here. What's up, Johnny? So in any case, we're going to kind of move through these pillars that we're going to kind of build the show on kind of going forward. And, of course, how we do, we always go into sub.
There's always going to be some sub.
It's hard for us to
How did he get in that thing? But he went down another wormhole in a wormhole.
Yeah, we can't ever say. But, you talk about the outdoor gym. See, this is one of those wormholes. With this heat right now, how are you finding people that want to?
But that's the thing. People, if you're looking for comfort, don't come. You know what I mean? You bring your hydration, you bring your mat. It's a yoga mat. We're not doing yoga, but you want something to separate you from the concrete. Yeah. And you want to wear gloves. Those are your 3 tools. And we get sweaty. I try to run at the peak of the day around 12. I don't care what the heat index is. You hydrate before and you hydrate after, and you take a shower after. And it's just one of those things where if you look for too much comfort, why are you even expecting the result? You know what I mean? So, you do it or you don't.
Well, and that was kind of a setup question, because it's all about we talk about mindset a lot. So you can.
Well, and I'll say this real quick. We were just speaking about this, the synchronicity, and I'm going to try to be super quick because I do want to hit our bullets. When I played football, I hated it. Yeah. I absolutely hated it. It was the worst experience ever. But I was able to reach a new level of abilities on personal development, because I'm not going to go out there and drink water out of a hose pipe and then practice forever with coaches that don't know their asses from a hole in the ground, giving you salt tablets. And any of you that knows, your salt to potassium ratio is 8-to-1. So if you give someone salt and they're dehydrated, they're more likely to cramp and be dehydrated. So they were giving us salt tablets, or, your sweat you're depleting salt, so maybe we should put some salt back in. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? But anyway, all of that, I'm not going to say trauma, but all of that issue, all the issues we had with practicing with coaches that didn't really know any better, prepared me for going to school at the same time as working at a place called Bonnell, and this was a warehouse. It was 100 degrees in the winter, and in the summer it was 120 degrees, and everybody would complain and whine and cry, and for me it was like, man, the teamwork that we had in football is I mean, it's nothing compared. I mean, it's apples and oranges. Like, I would go to the furnace and it would be fine.
Yeah.
And you would be drenched from hat to sock. And it was nothing. And then I would go home. My big mama would fix me something to eat. I had to gain some weight over that summer, and then go work out in my combat boots, mm-hmm. and then go to bed, wake up, and then go back to work, and then drive to school, and then drive to school 3 times a week. And that should have been extremely hard. But after football, I mean, it was. I know it sounds crazy, but football back in the day, kids used to die once a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't even know why. Just like, oh well, he should have been a healthier kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, asshole, you killed him. But they just didn't know. There's just, how long can they go without water, and all those types of things. And we know now that you probably should have gave us some water and less salt. But that was nothing compared. That work was nothing compared to that. The school work was nothing mm-hmm. compared to that. So put your kids in something, give them some sort of personal development where they're working with kids. I don't know if this is a statistic or not. This is just an assumption. I admit it. But I'm thinking that most of the kids that do the Columbine thing are loners. Yeah. And probably, bullied. Oh, okay, and bullied. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
That's a whole nother episode, man.
Like, hey, asshole, they were bullied.
We're already down a damn wormhole. We're supposed to go down.
Oh, yeah, we're down that wormhole. Let's crawl out.
Thanks, Wade. I appreciate it, man.
Sound all right?
Yeah, he said it sounds good. And we're going to also, part of the new format is we're going to take breaks after each kind of pillar we cover and answer any questions that we have on Facebook. So no, if you answer it, we're not getting to it right away. That's what we're going to do because it helps us stay focused.
Boom.
Colin's always like, half the time you weren't looking at me. So anyway, we want to make sure it's all about the energy and connection. So the first kind of topic we're going to talk about health is the black seed oil.
Yes. And
a lot of people don't know what that is. You hinted on that on one of the shows, but I'm going to read a little bit of an excerpt, and you can do the research and find this, and then you'll be able to share your kind of story on this. But here's what it says. When ancient Egyptian kings, European queens, religious prophets, and modern scientists come together on an issue, it's probably worth hearing out. Although today we have more access to information than before, we still have a lot to learn from history. From Hippocrates, Cleopatra, to King Tut, and the civilizations that followed, a strange commonality they shared was the value they placed on a certain herb. That herb is no other than black seeds. So this article kind of goes into talking more about what black seed oil is. It comes predominantly black seed oil. There's different types of black seeds, but predominantly cumin.
Yeah,
cumin is the black seed that you really want to get because it has. I may be saying this wrong, Colin. You may be better at. You're obviously more equipped at this. Nigella or Nigella sativa is the main component that's in it that has all the ability to do these things that these reports. And it's not us saying this. It's not some hocus pocus thing. Wade, hocus pocus vapor. There you go. It's not some hocus pocus thing that somebody made up. There's studies that they have put together on this,
and also evidence of people that have.
No doubt, there's tons of it that you can find. So it says it's used the Nigella sativa, which is in black seed oil, specifically the cumin black seed, is for treatment and cure of many diseases and complications. A common question is asked a lot. It's just another name for black seed oil. The ingredients of black seed oil enable it to act as a multi-purpose natural remedy for just about anything and everything. So it's an antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antifungal. This is going to be controversial, but it is. They've proven this. Anti-cancer, anti-asthmatic, antihistamine, antiviral, and anticoagulant. Right. So those are just some of the things.
But that's almost everything right there. As soon as you say antiviral, antibacterial, you pretty much
anti-inflammatory.
But then you add anti-inflammatory. Yeah. When you talk about anti-inflammatory, you're talking about the endothelial wall, the endothelial wall is the inside of your veins. When you get inflammation in that, that's what causes your high blood pressure. That's one of the ways. That's not the only way, but that's one of the ways you cause high blood pressure. Have you ever taken your finger and put it over a hose, just a little weak stream coming through your hose, and you put your thumb over it, and then that pressure increases? So that's what the blood is doing through your veins when you close up the endothelial wall. And the inflammation, that's where it is. It's on that inside wall. So you increase that inflammation, your blood pressure goes up. And I don't know if you've ever been short of breath, but it's inconspicuous if you're sitting there. But when you go to run or you get startled and you start breathing real hard, and that blood starts pumping through that thumb and in the hose pipe, you're dealing with less oxygen, less hydration, less nutrients, getting to where you need that energy. Not to mention, when you're stressed out or anything, that causes natural inflammation. So you've got to take into account just that one thing alone, anti-inflammatory. A headache is inflammation. Any sort of constipation, it starts with that anti-inflammatory. And that's just one layer of the thing that it does. It does so many things. I can't remember the quote exactly. I'm going to paraphrase. I didn't write it down, and I apologize. But there's a quote that says, it cures everything but death.
Yeah, it is. I forget who said that, but you're right. I think it was one of the, Hippocrates or somebody that you know. I remember reading that too.
Exactly. It cures everything but death. Yep. And if you listen to what was just mentioned, and antifungal, antibacterial, I mean, that in itself.
So the beauty about black seed oil is also, so there are other oils and herbs and things that you can take that will do similar kind of things. But this is one of the very few, if not the only one, that doesn't have an adverse effect on something else that you may take.
Exactly.
So
it actually enhances other things that you do.
Right. So take, for example, Melaleuca oil, or we call it tea tree oil. Right. Is what you see it in the store. It's from the Melaleuca tree plant. So that has some similar benefits, not all of these, but it has some antifungal, anti-inflammatory, but you can't take it with certain things. It will either be rancid, something will go wrong, or it will cause that, it will cancel that out, what you're trying to take and benefit from. Black seed oil doesn't do that.
Or you have to take something else to activate it. Like curcumin is.
This you don't.
You have to take black pepper with it.
Yeah. So this you can take on an empty stomach. You can take with food. You can take without food. You can take with water. You can take it straight. You can put it in. It doesn't. It's not affected by the things that are with it. In fact, like you said, it enhances those things.
Exactly.
So I don't know. The research I found, there wasn't anything specifically stating about heat. I wouldn't want to necessarily put it in like coffee or anything like that. But there's nothing specifically explicitly written saying that it wouldn't.
I really wish I would have checked the smoke ratio on it, because if you add heat to, say, like
olive oil
if you add heat to coconut oil, that's a high smoke ratio, so it doesn't really change the chemistry of it. But olive oil, it makes it more cancerous.
It turns it into a trans
carcinogenic.
Carcinogenic. Yep.
So I would want to find that out. Sorry, guys. But that would be something I would want to investigate, because if you leave it in your car and it has a low smoke ratio, you've now turned it into something different and less useful.
I will say that anytime you get any type of liquid supplement, this is with any supplementation or mineral or anything like that, make sure it's in a glass bottle.
Yes.
I don't care if it's BPA free or anything like that. Make sure it's in a glass bottle, and preferably it's a dark glass bottle, because it helps keep it from going rancid and going bad.
And to add to that, the glass bottle is absolutely imperative for this. This stuff is so strong that it will break down the plastic.
Exactly.
So if you get it in a plastic bottle, it should be the capsules. But I'm saying, just my preference, the oil
in the bottle, the glass bottle.
Glass bottle. It's a dark glass bottle. Keep it indoors. Keep it on your shelf so that you get the shelf life on it.
Because you can put it on cuts, burns, bee stings,
bags
insect
under
bites.
your eyes.
I mean,
it's good for your skin.
Acne. I put it
transdermally, internally, everything.
Absolutely. So after I shave, I put a little bit of I always use coconut oil on my. That's what I use as my moisturizer. But I will do the black seed oil, and it just helps with the cut. So here it goes. Good for your skin, tone and texture. It has essential fatty acids, vitamins, antioxidants, and amino acid, which obviously is good for your skin. Again, controversial, but it is what it is. There's studies out here. Efficient skin cancer treatment for melanoma. Cancer is a result of a DNA mutation is multiplying too quickly for our immune system to catch up, caused mainly by inflammation. So the anti-inflammatory properties. You talk about transdermal. Known for its anti-inflammatory properties, black seed oil has been proven to prevent and treat many different cancers, including skin cancer. This is, again, to the potent antibacterial and anti-inflammatory property it contains, the two main properties of black seeds. So the way they work is by targeting your white blood cells, thereby boosting your immune health and killing cancer cells. So,
well, and this is a personal experience that I've had. If you're not hydrating, the inflammation is going to stay the same. There were days that my hydration was poor, and I felt like somebody had thrown me off a cliff, and I was recovering at the bottom with broken legs and arms. and it's one of those things where I'm taking all the proper supplements, but I'm not doing my due diligence with my hydration. As soon as I hydrate, my body starts to function, and everything goes great. On one of the days that I really noticed the oxidation, I was running, and I think I mentioned this on another episode, but I just wanted to challenge myself and run until I was uncomfortable. In my mind, I was going to be uncomfortable at about 2 miles, turn around and come back, 4 miles, maybe 5, maybe 6. And I started running, and I was like, oh, man, I was breathing like a dog that had just sprinted. And then all of a sudden, I'm breathing through my nose, Scott. I'm just breathing through my nose normal, and my body felt great. And then my pace went up. Next thing you know, I can see, and I'm running from Bellevue, like toward Nashville. And next thing you know, I can see Nashville through the trees. I'm like, wow, this is far. And I keep on going, and I get to Belle Meade, and then I go a little bit further. And I was going to go to Taco Bell, which is the other direction. And then I was like, oh, I'll run to Kroger. Well, next thing you know, I'm running by Kroger in Belle Meade, and then I see, oh, that's Taco Bell right there. So it was 7.5 miles one way. Now, it took me 3.5 hours to complete because I ran all the way out and ran till I was uncomfortable. So coming back, I mean, I looked like I was I had a walker. You know, I'm still jogging, but I'm just like, how am I going to get back? But I did it, you know what I'm saying? And the recovery from that was quick.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know it was quick is because the last time I ran that far was 07 Music City Marathon, marathon, which was actually 1.5 miles shorter. Mm-hmm. And it took me a month to recover from that. My feet were bleeding, and this run was a faster pace. I didn't stop, and made it all the way back. So it works.
Well, and it helps with. I don't have problems sleeping or with insomnia or anything like that, but I will say that I have a more solid, peaceful sleep taking it. That sounds crazy that this oil can do this, but we're saying from our own experience of what it's done.
From our own experience.
And I will find, too, like you, Colin, now it's waned a little bit because we've been on it a while, right? Because your body kind of starts adapting. But the first month that I was taking it, and I recommend it. Colin went full tilt. He's like 2 tablespoons a day or whatever.
A damn.
So you really, with this, because it's so powerful, you may want to start with a 1/2 teaspoon, go up to a teaspoon a day, then 2 teaspoons. So that's what I did. I graduated into it.
Right.
Colin was drinking a bottle a day, but so but what I noticed was about a week in, 2 weeks in, you have that point of day where you may hit kind of a lull. And I don't drink a lot of coffee. We drink coffee when we do the show to kind of give us a punch. So it's mainly for you guys, because if not, we may be like, Colin, how are you today?
Today we're going to show you 4 more things.
Oh, nice happy trees.
Oh.
So
right here.
Right here. And just,
just a little moon.
Just make it smile. Put a sunshine. So anyway, what I noticed is like around 2 or 3 o'clock, I would kind of have a boost of energy, almost like I took a B12 shot.
Right.
Which I have a B12 spray that I take periodically. But it felt like that. I would be like focused and zoned. I was like, wow, this stuff. And it wasn't a placebo thing. It clearly was doing, and I did research more on it because we had already talked about it. I was like, a lot of people report this.
It will spike your energy up if you're in your circadian, the beginning of your circadian rhythm, and if you're at the bottom of your circadian rhythm, it will bring you down. So in other words, if you have more cortisol in your system, like your cortisol spikes in the morning in that part of your circadian rhythm, so it works with that. It balances you wherever you are. So in other words, it's synergistic. Wherever you are, it's going to balance that. And then if you're more into the nighttime or the melatonin part of your day, it actually enhances that. So I agree with that for the most part. But what I've noticed is if I have a leisure day, I will nap. Yeah. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
But like right now, like I'm up, I'm going, and I'm doing things, or if I go work out, it'll kick into that energy. It's the most balanced supplement I've ever taken, I think. And I hate that your receptor sites in your cells kind of get adapted to it, and you will need to come off of it after 6 weeks and take about a week, maybe 2 weeks off.
2 weeks off.
But this will be one thing that I will always come back and get back on.
So, and tried to get there. Damn, man. We knew we were going to talk about this. I can't remember the brand. Try to carry this for a second, Colin. I'm going to look it up.
You're going to look it up?
I am.
But the craziest thing, when I was researching this, and this was like one of those black light, is like a black light, like X-ray of what blood looks like. And they showed this person that had really high inflammation in their blood. And when your blood is very inflamed and doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it, what they'll do is individually they carry your nutrients, your oxygen and your minerals and all that stuff to your body, hydration, oxygen and everything. So basically what they'll do, since they're not so efficient alone, they will stack on top of each other. So imagine a coin like a quarter looks really thin, but it looks really, really thick if you put them all together, and you roll them up and take them to the bank. So that's what your blood cells will do. And imagine that trying to go through your veins and everything. That's another way. There's several different ways you can increase your blood pressure, but that's another thing that increases your blood pressure. Just the blood cells coagulating together to try to be more efficient. They took this black seed oil, and every 15 minutes they showed you how they hydrated, how they separated, and how they became more active. And it was the most amazing thing. And I know that created a placebo effect in me, because just to see it, I didn't even have any black seed. I was like, I feel better. I think I took some black seed somehow.
So yeah, exactly. So it's called Amazing Herbs Black Seed Oil.
Okay.
There's another one that I got because they were out of the Amazing Herbs. Because I went through the Amazing Herbs, was finished, and I had to get another one. It was the only other one with a glass bottle. But the Amazing Herbs is, and you can tell a different flavor profile too. You can tell that the Amazing Herbs is more potent.
Is it?
It just is. I'm telling you. When we
like the stuff that we have,
yes.
Okay, yeah.
So when
it's very potent. I mean, it's volatile. I mean, I like the taste of it.
Like some people talk about, they have to hold their nose. I like it because to me, it's there's something about it's kind of pungent. I'm like, yeah, it's working. But I'll let you taste this new one I got, and you'll be able to see a big difference.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really. So if you can find Amazing Herbs, one cool thing is it's manufactured in Georgia, so it's close by. So when it's packed to ship. When it comes here, it's close. It hasn't been in a hot truck and things like that.
And I think they transport it on a cooler.
I think they do too. It's cold pressed. It's probably the highest quality Black Seal out there.
That's the one that everybody uses, and that experiment that I was telling you guys about, that's what they would use. They use that brand. So
I think, Colin, I don't really have anything else to add to Black Seal. We'll probably circle back to that. Here's what I will say. The next week I'm going to talk about health is the Israeli Deathstalker Scorpion and some things they're doing with that. I would share it here because I was reading up on it in the past few days. It's amazing. But in any case, so
was that a commercial, sir?
Yeah, that's slight commercial for next. A little tease. It's called a tease in the business.
Next week on Two Rational Bastards. Bastards.
They call that a tease. So a little break here. Let's see here if we got any questions. Wade said, "I'll let you know if it can be vaped." Just kidding.
Hey, I bet you that'd be a good delivery system.
You may be able to do something with it, Wade. I don't know. That's funny as hell.
Walk in, Wade's trying to snort it. It's oil, Wade. It's oil.
Just let you know if it can be vaped. That's hilarious. He said, "Where can you get it?" Vitamin Shop is where I got mine. You can order it on Amazon. It's actually a little more expensive on Amazon, and plus, I worry about the whole shipping thing. I want to get.
I would go to Orbit or like Turnip Truck.
Yeah.
Because it's right there. It was shipped there on a cooler.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there'd be a guarantee that it would be cool and shipped to you on Amazon. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing about the Amazon. Vitamin Shop does. I mean, they get all their stuff direct from manufacturers, so it's at GNC. But any of those places,
Whole Foods, Turnip Truck, Orbit.
Yeah, like any of those places like that, you'll be able to find it, and it's the amazing herbs. So the next segment is entertainment sports, and man, we can go several directions here. I jotted down two things.
Yeah, I got one thing.
I jotted down Mayweather McGregor.
Hey, that's my one thing.
But they're both sports related. They're not really entertainment.
That is entertaining.
But what I'm saying is, it's specifically in the sports column, and then the Kyrie Irving thing. So you can hit the McGregor Mayweather. I'll just have a little blurb on Kyrie Irving. It's all anybody. Kyrie Irving plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers along with LeBron. Anyway, so the big story I would say entertainment sports is this Mayweather McGregor fight.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's it's a spectacle.
Hey! Down.
It's a spectacle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this corner, we got the coolest thing about the fight for me is Conor McGregor is 0-0, and you have Mayweather is 49-0.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Conor McGregor was in his press conference, and he was like, "Somebody's O has to go," and I'm like, dude, you've been beat 3 times. I was like, oh, in boxing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But here's what I like about the whole thing is Ali, right after the
Rumble in the Jungle.
Rumble in the
Foreman.
Jungle. So that was Foreman. So you guys who have a George Foreman grill, it was 74.
74.
It was 74.
October 74.
So in 74, Ali had just gotten out of jail, and not out of jail, but he got off his suspension for not going into the military, to be drafted to go to war. In that time period, he was in his prime. He comes back, he gets beaten pretty bad by not Foreman, but Joe Frazier. Mm-hmm. Joe Frazier, he goes and fights.
Joe Frazier?
Joe
never met no Joe Frazier.
Great Joe Frazier.
You never met Joe Frazier.
You ain't met no George Frazier. So he fights George Foreman, and then George Foreman annihilates him. So what's everybody thinking? Ali doesn't have a chance. Yeah. Ali's going to get annihilated. He goes there, does the rope-a-dope, and knocks this man out. The only time he's ever been knocked out. Now, he's been beaten before, but never knocked out. So he comes back, and he fights Chuck Wepner.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, Chuck Wepner, if you remember, is is the guy that inspired the a famous movie that you might know about, Rocky. That came out in 1976.
You're exactly right. Most people don't know that. That's
1976. That whole film was based on. Actually, this guy lost.
Right.
He stole. He beats Stallone for stealing the story, and he didn't give him any credit for it. He even admitted that it was about him, but didn't give him any money for it. That's a whole nother wormhole. But the whole thing is, this guy should have been destroyed by Ali. They fought, and not only did it take him 15 rounds to beat him, he knocked Ali down in the 9th round. You know what I'm saying? He should have been knocked out of there within the first 2 or 3 rounds. But this man willed himself to knock him down and willed himself to almost finish the fight, which was controversial because he knocked him down. He maybe could have gotten up, but the referee was counting fast and wanted to get him out of there. But could you imagine? That's a legacy to go that far with someone like Ali, who's incredible, who had knocked out a guy that was a brawler.
I'm impressed. I mean, we do our research, but I'm so stoked that you knew the Chuck Wepner story and the tie to Rocky. Most people don't even know that story.
Right. They think it's just something he just made up.
Yeah, that's
he's
awesome.
not, and he's a brilliant man, but he's not brilliant enough to write that story.
Well, he had to bring that to screen, and obviously, the screenwriting and all that. So,
right.
But
I didn't know that it was trending that close. I didn't know that it was that close of a story. So it was actually trending. That's why Rocky did so well. Yeah. But my point is, everybody's writing Conor off. I love an underground story. I love an underground story. You don't know about that, do you?
There was a club. Wasn't there a club downtown Nashville years ago called the Underground?
There was. There was. It was not hip hop, but techno.
Yeah.
But that guy has the greatest chance of anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy over here, this Wepner guy, Wepner shouldn't have gone 2 seconds with Ali. Mm-mm. So I'm telling you, an underdog story that I'm rooting on is this one. I want to watch it. I know it's probably going to go like we think it's going to go, but who knows?
And the thing about that is, as much as I want Mayweather to be beaten by McGregor, I mean, he's been a boxer his whole career, right? So he's trained that way. And McGregor's been, okay, now I've got to grab you and take you. Obviously, if it were where you could use, both of them could use their greatest skills, McGregor would win.
Right.
But
we all know it's a smash and grab. He's trying to make that money. I mean, I think he makes $50 million.
Yeah, it's
like McGregor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more than the whole roster of the UFC is going to make within the next 5 years.
The thing that's been disappointing to me about this whole thing, though, is how they have. Of course, we know this is how they are, but their characters that they do, and they're playing characters really too. But all these homophobic things they've said about each other, and just
yes.
It's just not necessary. They could still, because Floyd Mayweather is great at promoting. Conor McGregor, he's great at promoting. They didn't have to go down that route. It's been a little dirty.
Well,
not necessary.
I agree with you, but what I think happened is things got heated. I mean, he goes, "Why do you have a duffel bag? You can't even read." Yeah. And I couldn't imagine how humiliating that was.
Yeah.
And that's not the only thing that he said. I mean, he just destroyed him in every angle. And there was only a couple of times that I saw McGregor kind of look around like, "Wow, that was a good one. That was a zinger." But one zinger to 1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, who even remembers what was said to McGregor?
Yeah.
So I think they truly don't like each other.
I think you're right.
When typically it's only one-sided, because you have, and people don't realize this because he's so horrible at it right now, but Mayweather is typically the gift of gab. He's the one that's doing the jawing, and the other guys are kind of like, dang, I don't know what to say, but the tables have turned heavily.
And anybody that watches boxing and have watched 5 of Mayweather's fights, they're not very good. Think about this, because he's a tactician. He sets you up, he bobs and he gets away. It's not a lot of action. And so, But that's what makes him a great. That's what makes him a great boxer.
It's not good to a person that doesn't have the trained eye.
Right. But for me and you,
I appreciate them. They're not as entertaining as like a Mike Tyson or a Pacquiao fight,
or even Pernell Whitaker.
Exactly.
But he bobbed and weaved, but he would get there. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly. Or the earlier Mayweather fights, he would bang. Right. If you want to see Mayweather in his prime, go back and watch him and who was it? He had the belt before Mayweather.
Yeah, God, I can't remember.
Oscar De La Hoya. Damn. Watch the fight between him and Oscar De La Hoya. Pretty boy Oscar. Mm-hmm. But watch the fight between them two. You will see you'll see Mayweather in his prime.
Yeah.
You'll see Oscar
tail end. He's
tail end of his prime. Yeah. He did okay.
Yeah.
But that's a fight. That is someone forcing someone out of their comfort zone and the other one coming out of their comfort zone.
And I think the Pacquiao fight could have been that way too if Pacquiao hadn't been. We hit that on another episode, his hand and all that.
He was at a disadvantage, and he did that on purpose.
And he still almost beat him. But so anyway, so my kind of my entertainment piece is the Kyrie Irving. Of course, he's wanting to leave Cleveland because he doesn't want to be second fiddle to LeBron. But if you contrast that, let's think about all the great teams.
Where does he want to go?
I don't know. Lakers? Shit, I don't know. Lakers or no? He's San Antonio was one early on. I can't remember the other ones, but San Antonio was one that was kind of sticking out. So let's see how well that's fared for people. And of course, Kobe did well without Shaq, but imagine how many more they could have won if they could have. And they've even talked about now. They wish they would have just that was it. Regardless of what
I could believe they got rid of Shaq. That was so weird.
Regardless of what and that was Kobe saying, I'm not going to be. I need to be. It's me. It's my show.
That's horrible.
So you think back to Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Scottie wanted to be a star too, or whatever, but he understood his role and knew what it was going to give them.
Exactly.
I don't know where, and Kyrie, to me, he's not done anything to prove to me that could be a star player and carry a team.
No.
So
just be Scottie Pippen.
And the thing is, LeBron, well, and let's look at that. We're always making these comparisons with LeBron and Michael. To me, still, Michael Jordan's the best basketball player of all time. But LeBron's a better all-around teammate because he's not selfish. He doesn't do that kind of stuff. And sometimes to a fault. Sometimes I think he needs to be in crucial moments to say, I'm taking over this game.
Right.
So everybody that's played with him, it's because his star power. It's not because of him personally.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great teammate. So I don't know why you wouldn't just stay.
Well, he's a great leader.
He's a great leader.
Because if you're out there leading by example how to spread the ball
around. Joe Campbell was hating this comment because he doesn't like
right like exactly
LeBron. But he appreciates his game anyway.
Well, what I like about LeBron is he will sacrifice his numbers to develop a team to get to where they need to go. I mean, he shared the limelight when they went to the Heat and they won. Was it a 3-peat? What was it?
2. I don't remember having
2.
one. I think it was 2.
And then he went back to Cleveland.
They've won one.
And they've won one. I mean, how do you do that? How do you go?
LeBron.
How do you go and develop? Well, go from being in a crap team, they don't respect you, then go somewhere, get some respect, but you have to share the limelight, and then take that light back and shine it on everybody equally.
He's a great teammate.
In a lot of ways, that's Michael Jordan-esque.
Yeah. So and for me, a great example of people, and we'll see how it plays out. 2 guys that are playing, 2 stars that are stars independent on other teams, can carry teams, and we've seen them do it.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
Right.
They've figured out, say, we can start on our own, but we're much better together.
Exactly.
And it's worked out well. And you don't see, at least for us as the fan, like you could see, like in the finals this year, Kyrie and not making contact with LeBron, and you could see things like he looks like he's not happy, like he wants to be something else.
Right.
You never get that indication with Steph and Kevin. Steph will step back. Kevin had a run during the finals.
Right.
And then during the season, Steph had runs and Kevin would step back. So
what I think is funny, thinking back on Pippen. Pippen was an amazing player.
Yeah.
The dunks that he would do were just as phenomenal as Michael Jordan.
Great defensive player.
Yeah. He was incredible.
Yeah.
But think about that team. Think about all those championships that they won. They had Curry, who is the coach of Golden State.
Golden
now.
State. Yeah.
And then you had Pippen. Then you had the greatest rebounder, arguably, of all time, in Rodman.
Absolutely.
Like
the worm.
You know, if you're getting those boards pulled down and thrown back out to all those options, how are you going to beat that?
Yeah.
How are you going to beat it enough to win the series? So it takes a team to beat a team.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that Kobe didn't win anymore, because it's like you're a loner. You're going to grab that ball.
He did after Shaq, but it just wasn't the same.
It was just one, right?
Yeah, I think it was one. It may have been two, but in any case, it just wasn't. Yeah, and I was a big Kobe fan. I loved watching Kobe play, but I was a Lakers fan for all those years too when he played. They were just fun to watch, but I don't know, man. I don't.
There was something missing. I
just didn't feel the same. Yeah.
I liked him, but it's just one of those things where I was like, man, I wish you give us something more than what you're giving us. As egoic as Michael Jordan was, he knew he needed his supporting
He
cast.
had to have that, and that was a true definition of a team and keeping it.
And that's what makes him better than most people that you can compare. That's why you can compare LeBron, because LeBron is as young as he is, as young as he's always been. He's understood the format of the game and how to build teammates around him. If you're LeBron, why are you trying to be so humble, with all these people that are nowhere near as good as you? Because you have to develop those people around you to build that relationship so that y'all can win those games together. Well,
you think about even the flip side of LeBron being the ambassador to the game, and just, he's a true, a sports figure as far as being a sports figure, a gentleman and doing other things in the community and things like that. But so August 26th is the Mayweather-McGregor fight. I'm not going to buy it and purchase it. I'll hear about it, but
I'll be watching it. But
if I find somebody that's got it somewhere,
I know several people just say, "Hey man, you want to come over?" I was like, "Man, I want to come over and watch the McGregor."
Sorry, so we're going into our next break here. So let's see if there are any comments. I'm not sure. Yeah, turnip truck right on. Wade says only $5,000 in it. I'm not sure what he's referring to, because we've had we talked about, may have been the Rocky movie. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but in any case, so what's your wild card? I'll do my wild card next. Do you have one?
Yeah, basically,
or did you want to do current event? You go whatever order you want. I'll go.
It doesn't matter. The wild card for me was kind of going with what we spoke on earlier. It's weird how well it blended in. Well, in my mind, for y'all it might be random. Yeah. What the hell are you talking about blended in perfectly? But when you talk about McGregor, and you talk about Ali, and you talk about even Mayweather, and what is the other person that I was thinking about here in my notes? Where is he at? Conor McGregor, and let's just say Conor McGregor, Mayweather, and Ali. What they all have in common for me is they had this scary belief in themselves. Yeah. And they did this technique I'll share this with you, Scott. This is like I said, this is my wild card. So, you already know the answer, so don't fuck it up.
Great.
But exactly.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. You're proud of me? That was my only curse word for the day. Yeah. I'm doing good. Now I should be down to 0 on the next episode. But priming is basically putting examples of things in front of you that is going to get your mindset to automatically do the thing that you wanted to do later on in the day or in the month or whatever you're trying to do. So you're doing a pattern of things that kind of primes you to automatically do the thing that you're overall trying to do. And an example of that, you guys can play along, but I'm gonna have Scott.
Hey, Scarlett.
Hey, yay! I'm gonna say a word. I'm gonna have Scott spell it, and you guys spell it, and you go to the next word as soon as I say the next word, and then I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Spell cop.
C-O-P.
Plop.
P-L-O-P.
Top.
T-O-P.
What do you do at a green light?
You go.
Scott, you mother... And... Dude! And I'm done.
You stop.
You can go ahead and go to your wild card.
You stop.
Anyway.
I had to do that.
Dude, really? I'm actually pissed at this motherfucker right now. Like, I asked him not to do it, and he still did it.
I couldn't help it.
Now I know. It's one raster bastard. I quit.
If you could actually drop the mic, you would.
I dropped the headphones.
Yeah.
Anyway, he knew the answer. He was a dickhead.
Everybody knew what you were going to do.
No, they didn't. Anyway, those are the types of things you're going to want to do to kind of prime yourself to have a certain result or have a certain outcome. Conor McGregor, Ali, it was okay. The other person was Tupac. They all did the same technique. Tupac said in one of his interviews, to reach a certain group, you have to go in and reach that certain group. He was highly intelligent. His IQ was 125 or 130 or something like that. Extremely high. You're talking about a person that knew that people wouldn't listen to him if he came in, hey, Mike, hey guys, my name is Tupac. So he put thug life on his stomach and put the back then the earring in the nose was unheard of, and just all that thug persona, and they put the bandana on his head and all that. All of that was smoke and mirrors to infiltrate a certain group, and then have the booty songs, and then have the Dear Mama. So you're looking at him because of this, but you're listening to him still when he says something profound. And the same thing happened with Ali. He did all of this, I'm pretty and blah. I mean, in that time, nobody had ever heard, an ethnic man say those types of things.
Any man, but particularly a man of color. Right. At all.
And then you have Conor McGregor, who's coming from, before he won his fight of the night and won 50 G's. 50 G's, baby! he was on welfare the week before. And he would speak the prime into effect. He called himself Mystic Mike, meaning he would call the rounds he was going to knock you out. He believed it. And he actually predicted like half of his fights, but he won them all except for a couple, and then he came back and avenged them. So people are still looking at him because of he primed in front of everyone, unless you're in front of Scott and he's a fucking dickhead. but anyway, prime. Whatever example you have, one of the things that I try to do, I try to smell something that reminds me of something that's awesome. I wish I could smell cut grass every morning. You can't do that. I mean, that'd be hard to do. But on those days that people are cutting grass, if it reminds you of something, it reminds me of when my great grandfather, he took an old lawnmower deck, sanded it down that he found in a junkyard. He went and grabbed something else. Says, oh, here's an old deck. He grabbed it. He sanded it down. And just throughout the summer, he would add things to the lawnmower. And then finally he fixed the engine. He painted it green. And then that was my first lawnmower. And every time I smell grass, it reminds me of the most important man I've ever met, you know, as far as my childhood is concerned. And the most amazing summer, you know, he taught me how to mow the lawn. And I lived in the project, so I didn't have to have a lawnmower. But before they would come and mow the lawn for the whole entire complex, I would mow our lawn, and then they would go around it. And it's just one of those things that gave me a sense of pride when I was a kid. So when I smell grass, it reminds me of that moment. So even if I can just think about that, it puts me in a certain state. And that's what you're doing. You're trying to put yourself in a certain state to get a certain result at a later date. And I didn't do that on purpose. That was organic.
That was good.
Hell? That was awesome. Good. What did you say it again? I can't. But prime as much as you can. Wake up in the morning, something that smells good if you can, something that reminds you of something that makes you laugh, something that makes you that inspires you, something that maybe even startles you.
Yeah.
But prime yourself first. We've spoke about this in the past, but this was a perfect opportunity to kind of put an example on it without the help of fucking stinking ass, shitty ass Scott. So prime, guys, prime.
I like it.
That was my wild card. I hope you asked me for some help. I'm gonna tear your ass up. Hey, Kylie, could you assist me with it? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Just dead silence.
You hear the door.
Boom, you pull out.
Colin
just left.
He's still streaming live. I'm on live. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, fuck you, Scott.
You're at home with your feet kicked up already. Where'd you go? There's your help, motherfucker.
There's your help, man. I'm gone.
All right, so my wild card is, okay, so this season of the Steve Harvey Show, he decided to move. He'd been in Chicago for 5 years for the Steve Harvey Show.
Yeah.
Decided to move to L.A. For this next season. So,
does he have the same cast?
Pretty much the same people, producers, and all that stuff. But he invited them obviously to move, relocate, whatever, to be with the show. With the beginning of the new season, he sent out a letter to his staff. Now, this would have been probably obviously fallen under some type of confidentiality clause or something like that. He probably has a contract with his people, or if he didn't, he probably has one now. Because these were people that didn't go with him to L.A. It was a letter that he released at the beginning of this next season, directing them at how they're supposed to have communication with him. This is the exact letter that Steve sent it to me himself. I'm just kidding. No, but this is the exact letter that he gave to his staff before the move. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'd like you all to review and adhere to the following notes and rules for Season 5 of my talk show.
Rules? Oh, shit.
You can already tell.
I don't like the tone.
There will be no meetings in my dressing room. No stopping by or popping in. No one. Do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not open my dressing room door. If you open my door, expect to be removed. My security team will stop everyone from standing at my door who have the intent to see or speak to me. I want all the ambushing to stop now. That includes TV staff. You must schedule an appointment. I have been taken advantage of by my lenient policy in the past. This ends no more. Now.
This ends no more?
This ends now. No more.
Yeah, I'll tell your ass.
Do not approach me. Do not approach me while I'm in the makeup chair unless I ask to speak with you directly. Either knock or use the doorbell. So he has a doorbell on his...
Oh, wow. Shit.
I'm seeking more free time for me throughout the day. Do not wait in any hallway to speak to me. I hate being ambushed. Please make an appointment. So clearly he wants you to make an appointment.
Wow.
I promise you I will not entertain you in the hallway, and do not attempt to walk with me.
What?
If you're reading this, yes, I mean you.
Oh, Wow.
Everyone, do not take offense to the new way of doing business. It's for the good of my personal life and enjoyment. Thank you all, Steve Harvey.
Man. Wow.
What the fuck? Who feels like, I guarantee you.
That's a God complex right there, man. That's, wow. I don't even know what to say.
I guarantee you Oprah has never sent a letter like this to her staff.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sorry, I'm guessing, I don't know, Colin, maybe I'm wrong. She's probably quite a bit more busy than he is.
Exactly. Like, oh my God.
Can you believe that?
Well, I've never really been a fan of his, but I've never really had that's a fake person. Like, I've never had that vibe about him. But I think he's funny-ish, but he's not funny as much as he thinks he's funny.
No.
He's not he's not Cat Williams funny.
No, he enjoys himself much more than other people do. You know?
Typically, he's laughing at his own thing.
What are you laughing at?
and what kills me is if you listen to his show, they're laughing. They are fake laughing.
It's not real. Yeah.
Like you'll hear them laugh about like a guest will come on, like it's a different style of humor, and they'll genuinely laugh at that person. And here comes Steve Harvey, and then you go over there, and I'm like, I mean, they've been there, done that, and seen everything that you have to offer.
He hasn't evolved in his act. It's been the same since he started. And really, the only time I find him remotely funny is on Family Feud because it's not him.
Yes.
The jokes are being fed by the stupidity of the guests that are doing whatever they're saying. And so you and I could play along with that, right? And make fun of that.
Right.
So
anybody could.
That's not creative. I mean, his show, to me, like you said, I've heard this. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say, it's like the Dave Ramsey show. If you've listened to it once,
you've heard every episode he's got to offer.
It's everything, I mean, and that's Steve Harvey to me. His show is tired, and it's nothing creative about it. So,
but it has a following, and
it does.
It's always going to trend. And now, the people that helped him get where he is, that's how he speaks to them. Like, I mean, they're an inconvenience. They're just another cog in the clock. So I couldn't imagine.
I'm trying to figure out. Obviously, it hit me a certain way, and like it did you. Okay, what discrepancy in me is showing up that makes me respond to this the way I do? Well, because he's a douchebag. That's what
he is.
Straight A douchebag. Now, and okay, I read a hint of here that he just wants more personal time. Cool, I get that. But there's a better way to deliver that.
There's a better way to do that.
Hey, guys, this next season, in the past, I've been cool with that. But going forward, if you catch me, cool. But if I'm short, this is why. I really would prefer.
Just read the room.
Yeah, read the room. If it's an emergency, come get me. If I'm in the hall, cool. No worries. But let's try to limit that. If my door is closed to my office, I'm doing something at the moment. If it's open, that means you can come on in.
Boom.
There's a better.
My security.
Yeah. So if you open my door,
you will be removed.
My security team will stop everyone from standing at my door who have the intent to see or speak to me. So
and then ambush me.
Yeah,
I'm sick of being ambushed.
What is that?
What
is that? I mean, what is?
But here's what I'm hearing. Why were you so much of a wuss not to assert your boundary in the first place?
Exactly.
Why you gotta? This is so passive aggressive. This is
classic passive aggressive.
Like, have a meeting, have an open forum, and be like, okay, this is the narrative. Let's problem solve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have an open floor and be like, okay, boom, 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 and create a policy with the people that you are actually having a discrepancy with. This is what I had a problem with in the past. Well, how are we supposed to just back and forth for about 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Come up with a memo based off of that, maybe.
Right.
And then include everyone, because now what you've done is your rapport is destroyed. And the energy of that show, now I can tell that it was construed before.
Yeah.
Like, they're fake laughing. What's the laughter going to go? It's going to go from to, yeah, nigga, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, and like you said, you have a talk show. You talk to people all the time. Why didn't you sit down with your staff?
That's horrible.
This shouldn't have been.
And why were you able to access that information?
So this right here shouldn't have been the way they found out how the new season was supposed to be. The way they should have found out how the new season was going to be, hey, everybody, we're having a meeting. Everybody come to it. Let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a vent right now. I'm upset, but understand when I get to the end of this, let's work through. And then the memo comes, hey.
If I were Steve, I might have tried to get with everybody individually, then have a meeting. I mean, something to where you still feel attached to me.
But this is their first knowledge of what he expects for the new season.
But why is that public knowledge?
Because one of the people that didn't go with him to L.A., they changed jobs. Screw that. I'm releasing it. They released it.
And see, what happens now is people are going to see the behind-the-scenes douchebag this guy can be.
Yeah. It's funny. I can't, like when I flip on Family Feud, I can't look at it the same way after seeing that's terrible that I'm judging him based on this. But this gives you a glimpse into what type of man he really is, right? Don't you think?
I'm going to tell on myself here. If you have a good product out there, like say you're an actor,
like Two Rational Bastards,
we are douchebags off the. But when you're talking about Tom Cruise, the person, there might be things or politics and things about that guy I don't like. I don't care, man. The guy can act.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch his movie. I love his movies, man.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
His charisma just bounces off the screen, and then he jumps on Oprah's couch, and you're just kind of like, man, that dude is crazy, but that actor is amazing.
It's phenomenal, yeah.
You know, Brad Pitt, you know, I actually like the guy, you know, for some of the things he does behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And his movies I like. And there's things that he does that I don't like. I don't care. At the end of the day, I want to see the product.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if you go down the wormhole of, I don't like this because of that.
Right.
I mean, there are so many, like we did an episode on sweatshops. Like if you go down there, you're going to be a hermit. You're going to be a hermit out in the middle of a desert somewhere talking about, I sure wish I could talk on my iPhone, but they're mining a certain mineral that they put in the phone over in Africa, and I can't, in Ghana, I can't, you know. So I just leave it at what's the product. But here's the thing. I don't give a damn what Harvey was doing before.
Yeah.
So now it validates, I don't like him before he just said that.
Yeah.
So this makes it even easier.
Well, that's the thing. I never was really crazy about him, but I do, like I say, I mean, I'll still watch it if there's, you know, I'm flipping through or whatever, especially if it's Celebrity Family Feud. Mm-hmm. That's always funny to me. But I just look at him a little bit different. Like, God, he's such a dude. Like, I'm thinking about the guy that's got his mic hot right now. He should just turn that shit down.
Exactly. Well, the thing that I'll say, I will admit, he was hilarious in Kings of Comedy.
Kings of Comedy, yeah.
He was hilarious in Kings of Comedy. And I can watch that right now and see him acting like he's like, I'm not jumping in the water. I'm going to jump on the back. I'm going to jump on a piece of furniture, and I'll be shoveling with a little piece of wood like, nope, you can't get on here. He was hilarious in that. And I will probably still laugh if I see him in it. But all the stuff that he does current, it hasn't been funny. It isn't funny. And that wasn't funny. That memo right there is despicable. You don't speak to people that are part of the machine that make
you who you are.
You don't shit on them.
Yeah, it's just bad form, Steve. Bad form, brother.
Yeah, man. That he's disconnected from what really makes a human being tick. So I mean, to talk like that to those people, that should be family.
Yeah, I agree.
They should be family to him.
I agree.
It's got me upset. Clearly.
So okay, break here. Do what they say. Do what they say. I was like, I heard that. Ouch, Colin. So those are a couple of the comments that came in.
What are you ouching?
I'm not sure what she's saying. What she's talking about. Let's see who said this. Laura Robbins said that. So our last is current event. So what do you have after that?
Well, the current event was my Conor McGregor also.
So it was all one.
Yeah.
I'm going to save this one till the next episode of the current event. I'm going to talk about the CTE, that professional athletes.
Right,
and a study that I found. And I probably will make that my health segment instead of my current event.
Right.
It's trending current, but I'm going to make it health related next time.
Right.
So Anyway, next week is going to be kind of the same format. We're going to kind of stick with the pillars of health, entertainment / sports, wild card, and current event.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we'll do like we normally do at the beginning and end. Tuesday again next week. We tend to get started earlier. Today, people that are just now listening in, or I don't know what take they didn't get this one, but we had problems with our HD camera.
Right.
For whatever reason, Facebook...
It kept kicking it off.
It was recognizing it and would start the recording, and about a minute in, it would kick it out. It wouldn't even save it. So I've got to figure out why they're doing that. I do have a piece of software that I can resolve that.
I think it was mad at us, just like, oh, now y'all going to try to come back. You know what?
Yeah. It was weird, so I'm not sure why. But so we've got another camera set up now that's a little bit different. And that's why we had problems with the sound at the beginning, Wade, as you know. So... Anyway, and dude, you probably can hear I'm nasally. My allergies are just going crazy right now with how the weather has been. So I tried to take some medication at the beginning, but I'm having a hard time breathing now. So you're talking about breathing through nostrils. I can't. So, any case, you have any last words of advice, Colin? You want to share?
Well, I don't know about advice, but for me, I feel like if someone is given some great information, we can get rid of some of the subconscious bias and who's saying it, and that delivers, like just what we were talking about with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. You should be able to hear information whether it's coming from
regardless of the source.
Regardless of the source. And I think that's one of the reasons why we miss a lot of points, because we become so emotionally attached to the content. Like if you're watching the news and one little bad thing comes up, you miss that one thing that was for you, you know, and politics and religion and everything. Like if we could just get to the point that we admit that it's just a percentage. It's just a small percentage of truth that's being presented in the first place. So in this group, it has a small percentage. In this group, it has a small percentage. All the groups have a small percentage. So you do yourself a disservice to look at one group. Look at everything. Go do something that you're not interested in. And this is going to sound really, really weird, but groups that don't like you speak truth sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody that's racist says something that's true, hear that at least. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that you can rebut in other areas, or you can come back and say, all right, that might be true in that certain circumstance, but over here, this is XYZ. Take a look at the whole picture. Don't take one piece of the puzzle and fall in love with it and pull it in, put it in a safe and make it true, because it's not always going to be the whole thing. Just take a look at the whole thing and make your decision based on that. That would be my, if you want to call it in quotations, advice.
Yeah, you said that very well, and I think especially in the political climate that we're in right now, it's so easy to be opposed and polarized and so stuck in your one particular column or belief, and you won't hear the valid things that are coming out from whatever side you oppose. There's always something, right? I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know. Maybe there is with even. This almost hurts to say. Maybe even some things Trump may say.
Donald Trump is not 100% wrong.
No, exactly.
Obama wasn't 100% right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's two filthy, shitty wings on the same dirty burger.
And you can't always have your liberal or conservative filter there. You sometimes have to open it up and say, okay, let me let this flow in. Let me dissect this and see what the truth is here.
Right.
Is it a truth to me, or that makes me think a little bit harder on my position, and I'm second guessing now, or I'm really solid now.
Right.
So, but not letting that in at all. If your filter is really, too much, you'll never get in, and you'll never. Again, we hit this a lot, but isn't it so important? The growth piece.
Right.
You'll never grow because you're so stuck in that column. So anyway, I'm glad you ended the show that way. That was great. I love it. So Anyway, I'm looking forward to next week. We'll be back on schedule, and I hope you guys like the new format. Just comment, let us know what you think. If you'd like to see another segment or something like that in there as well.
We will continue to evolve and try to create something that is of value to. I mean, I value this show. This show for me is therapy. It's communication with my brother, of course, and it's an opportunity to put myself in a vulnerable position, to put myself out there in the world, to be, validated or scrutinized, and be able to be the same person regardless. So.
Well, you go back to Exposing Real Estate, our first show, and things we said there, we're probably still pretty much the same, but we've probably evolved in certain aspects. So that's kind of cool that we have that in recording to see our growth.
Right.
A lot of people may not have that documented proof or evidence for them to see that. But that's one reason why we kind of took a break, because we wanted to reset the format, and we wanted to be more entertainment and hit a broad thing, because if we talk about sweatshops, it may not be something for everybody, although everybody needs to hear it. But with this, at least everybody's going to kind of get a mixed bag of variety. So
I will share this super quick.
Yeah,
the growth that I've experienced is one of the first, but not the last things that was stated about me that was massively negative for me, because the exact opposite of who I am was, I was being silly, and we were doing one of our little crazy little things where we're singing and dancing and acting all crazy. A guy said my eyes was guaranteed that I was on something. And if you know me at all, I've never taken a drug. I've never been drunk. I've barely even ever had a buzz. I've never finished a beverage of alcohol. So if you know me at all, you know this. And it was weird, because I was like, it really offended me. But now when I hear negative things, my skin's thicker. Yeah. And that's been the greatest blessing, because I don't want to be sensitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go through all the 4 agreements, but one of the most important ones for me is don't take it personal, because it's definitely personal inside you. And that was thank you, whoever that was, and I don't remember, for doing that for me, because it really helped me.
But on the flip side of that, how I responded to him, I mean, I did tear him down.
Yeah, Scott came to my rescue.
But I gave him valid things, and you notice there was no response back, because one, he didn't have a response, and he probably, because there was other than that first comment that he made, some of his replies back, there was a bit of knowledge there that he had. Right. So to me, he's
it triggered something for me to look like whatever it was. And what was funny to me is, like, okay, I look like that, so there's exceptions to every rule. So you might need to go back with your expertise and reevaluate you. Like, that's an opportunity for him to look in the mirror or not to. But regardless of all that, who cares? Yeah. I'm glad it happened. It was a personal development moment for me. Thank God I was strong enough or weak enough to be to have that effect. It changed my state heavily, and I went through a process, and here I am with thicker skin. So
that
awesome.
That weakness made you stronger.
Absolutely.
And it exposed Exposing Real Estate. That was on. It was that show, right? It was
Exposing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
now my skin's a lot thicker since I got 2 rational bastards.
Well, because our stuff's out there. So and then many times people will write us, and then we're like, you're a bit vulnerable, because the people that are watching and they comment, their stuff's not out there. We're laying it. It's like you're reading our diary.
Right.
So we've exposed that and transparent. But also when people comment back and send emails, it helps either strengthen our position, change our position, or
validate.
Or grow into where we need to grow. So we appreciate that. So one last shout out. Wade says, whatever y'all do, don't research naked otters.
Hey, thank you, sir.
And then he says, this show is informative for sure, whatever the topic. Thank you so much, Wade.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So until next week, I'm Scott.
It's Colin. Out.
So ran an hour 20. Hey. So Facebook, I'll shut you down here in a second. We appreciate you guys always for tuning in. And like I said, we'll try to get on a bit earlier next week, probably around 10 o'clock or so. Like I said, we had some technical issues this week. So in any case, thank you guys again for tuning in and for watching. Comment, share, like the page, all that good stuff. And until next week, we'll see you.